Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our leader, your tutor and teacher, Professor Sebastian Longsword.
What is leadership? What is innovation? What is marketing? What is management? What is a rhetorical question? Anyone? Now, may I just get a little show of hands to see if anyone here already has an MBA? Please raise your hand. Oh, there's one at the back. Another one here. Any other MBA holders in the room? No, those two? Look at them. Admire these people. In fact, give them a round of applause, everybody. Because these people have grasped the first golden rule of the MBA, which is this: an MBA is completely and utterly worthless unless everybody in the room knows you have one. But another great MBA graduate was Waldemar Brandt. In the midst of the Great Depression, he saw a gap in the market for evenly portioned pieces of bread. So he developed the bread slicer. It was an instant hit, and people said his invention was the best thing since evenly portioned pieces of bread. But perhaps the jewel in the crown of the MBA legacy belongs to shipping. You see, back in 1912, just 30 short years after the first MBAs graduated, a team of them got together and they developed the modern ship that we still use today. Their ship, back in 1912, was larger than any other in its class, more stylish, more comfort, and they were rightly proud of the RMS Titanic. Hollywood concentrated on the iceberg incident, but they missed the bigger picture. Those sharp minds of those MBAs grasped the insight that entrepreneurs still honor today. Fail often, fail fast, fail spectacularly. To join an MBA program at other institutions, one needs a degree and 2 years of business experience. Or, if you don't have a degree, 6 years of business experience and a checkbook. We have a very different approach. Firstly, we have an adjunct professor in charge of plagiarism. Ms. Helen Demedenko will not only make sure that it's her hand that signs your paper, but she also oversees our plagiarism software, which, instead of trying to catch you out, actually looks at your paper and then scours the internet for all the citations and references you'll need to make your arguments. Now, it's very good, though, at catching plagiarism, although there was one occasion when it failed, and that was when it was very early in development. Colin Hay from the group Men at Work used it when he was writing the hit Down Under. Sadly, our software missed the reference to Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree, and it led to a court case about plagiarism. It was indeed a blunder, and we heard the thunder. Our next subject is economics, which is sometimes referred to as the dismal science. And if you have to ask why, then you've never had dinner with an economist. I mean, they're so dull, mosquitoes bite them, then kill themselves. They just lose the will to live. I do recall, actually, the reason that economists have the lowest divorce rate of any profession is their spouses tend to forget there's someone else in the relationship. Then they see the pile of mosquitoes on the floor and they remember. I recall, if I may share, a dinner party I went to once with 3 economists. As the roast potatoes were being handed around the table, the neoclassical economist predicted, they believe we all act rationally, that the dish would be passed around and everyone would take their fair share. The Keynesian economist, though, disagreed. He predicted that because there was a finite number of potatoes, as they got passed around the table, the law of supply and demand would mean that ferocious competition would erupt. And then the Marxist economist, he stood up, he demanded that the cook should eat the first meal in honor of her labor. He then took a handful of extra roasters and ate them in solidarity with the growers, and then he killed the hostess and her 5 children. But I digress. And trust me, you want to keep in your accountant's good books. You do not ever want to get into their bad books. And you want to disavow all knowledge of their other set of books. Now, have you ever wondered why many office workers get bored easily and tend to lose focus within 5 minutes of turning up to work? Whereas cricketers can stay focused for 5 whole days in a row. Well, as an MBA thinker, I've reflected on this and I've worked out the answer. It all comes down to the cricket ball. Imagine if I were to hold a cricket ball before you right now. One rock-hard sphere of cork covered in rough leather. And just imagine also that I were to throw it at you at 140 kilometers an hour. Would you stay alert? Yes, you would. So go on, try that yourselves. Take a cricket ball to work and start throwing it at the office at people and see if it wakes them up. If it doesn't, use the bat. Russell, are you employed?
I am.
Lovely. What sort of field are you in?
I'm a CFO.
You're a CFO? Oh, aren't you important? As a CFO, can I ask, what sort of problems do you face on a day-to-day basis that we might be able to help you with?
Cash flow.
Cash flow, insofar as perhaps not enough of it is... Oh, okay, lovely. Well, let us, Miss Turner, could you provide perhaps some thinking music and then give it a darn good spin for us? That's it. All right, so you'll be surprised, by the way, Russell, this is a very common problem, especially for CFOs. All right, we're going to look at this problem of cash flow through the lens of HR, and there are 2 things that leap out at me straight away. The first thing is, if you're having trouble with cash flow, maybe you're employing too many people. So one idea straight from the MBA would be get rid of them, mass cullings. But if you find the business would struggle in that situation, then the other alternative is to find a new CFO. That's what the MBA wheel is telling us, and I'd like to leave that with you to take back to the office. Fantastic.